you. It's a new thing. Hey, Uza.
It's time.
It's time. Ready for Sambai Speaks.
Episode 11. We're almost a year in.
Wow, that's right. We started last September. It's August.
Yeah.
Wow.
Amazing.
And Uza and I are up at beautiful Martha's Vineyard today. If you don't know where that is, it's off the coast of Massachusetts, and we're here curating a Black health hub, talking about health with the people and trying to be in our community. So that's what we do in our day job. So we're not doing Sambai. So, but we're so grateful to you guys. You know, I came and spent some time in your lab, and with Dr. Shiba, and I made her make videotapes that we show all the time. We're so glad to have you here, and Dr. Denise, you're such a joy to work with, working in this cancer space and being a brave warrior. So we're so glad to have you guys. So
my Nigerian sister auntie.
Yeah, there you go. Right. And of course there's noise behind us, but we're going to try to block it out. But anyway, so do you want to introduce yourselves, you guys, and talk about the work that you're doing as part of this amazing, global research project? And these lovelies are in the UK, and but with a lot of tentacles in Africa. So Thanu, you want to go first?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. And likewise, it's just amazing working with you and the Touch team. And Denise, I've known you for so long now, and just being part of Sambai is just amazing. So thank you so much for inviting me to this, and to introduce myself. So I'm Thanu. I work with Dr. Shiba at King's College London in breast cancer. So I've been in this role 8 years, and I think I'm stuck with Shiba forever because just love what we do here. So my role, essentially, it's to go out and speak to our patients who we see in clinic at Guy's and St Thomas Hospital, and introduce some of the key research projects that's going on in our lab, which is centered around understanding the immune system and understanding how that's different from patient to patient. And introducing this aspect to our patients, and recruiting them to multiple different projects that we have ongoing, to essentially then bring back blood samples, tissue samples, and various other materials back into the lab for the project that's ongoing here, taking these results that we're seeing in our labs back into clinic, and just identifying those people who can actually help us answer these questions. This started off in the primary cancer setting, which we call neoadjuvant setting, when someone comes in and they're diagnosed with cancer and they're first given chemotherapy before they have surgery to help shrink the tumor. Which then developed into the metastatic setting, where we identified patients with metastatic diagnosis, but they were doing exceptionally well. And there were patients who were diagnosed with a similar metastatic disease, but not doing so well, and they were not responding to the treatment, that standard of care treatment that we were giving them in clinic. And they were constantly having to go through treatment switch because nothing was working for them. So we saw these two extreme end of patients in our clinic. And we started a study to look at exceptional responders and exceptional survivors. And this is where Denise comes in, and I went in and spoke to her. And as always, Denise, she was always happy to help. So she was happy to be recruited, happy to speak about this research to other people. And we recruited a fair number of patients, and we're already seeing some differences between people who respond really well and people, unfortunately, who don't. But what we were lacking is we were just looking at the immune aspect, just understanding how our immune system is responding to cancer or not responding at all. But what we were lacking, and what Sambai provided, and what we were so excited to do, is looking at the patient, not just the immune system, but as a whole, what they were exposed to, what is their environment, what's the lifestyle, what are they eating. These were questions that I was being asked by our patients when I was recruiting them. They said, okay, I'm happy to give you blood samples and tissue samples, and I do want you to go and profile them and let me know what you find. But do you want to know what I'm eating? Do you want to know what exercise and alcohol intake and my family history, my genetics? although they were all being looked at by other studies, but they were all individual studies and no one was connecting these dots. And Shiva and I would often speak about this, and we would often think about what is the best way to go about doing it. And then Sambai came and he was just answering all of our questions, and we had to be part of this, and we were so excited. So when we joined the team, it's just a miracle, really, because it wasn't just helping us answer these questions, but we were getting to work with some wonderful, amazing people. And I often tell Shiva this: Sambai is like a food for soul. It was feeding our soul. It was feeding our passion. It was a platform to take our passion forward. So this is me, and I'm so excited that I'm part of Sambai, and I'm excited I'm here. Thank you once again.
So great, and you bring up such good points, because I think that one thing that Melissa Davis has done is brought all these amazing people to the table doing pieces of this work, and now we can kind of put all the puzzle pieces together. And lifestyle and such is so important to all the stuff that you're doing, but just the fact that you guys were already studying immune systems, and we can talk about this in a minute, but I mean, like, that the cancer cells look different and the immune systems look different. So, and that's how I met Dr. Denise, because I came to visit you and I got to meet Dr. Denise. I was so excited to meet you. So who are you? Tell people.
Hello, everyone, and thank you guys. It's interesting. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm going to talk about when I first met all of you, because it was very interesting. It's been a very interesting journey, because I was diagnosed with metastatic breast cancer, I think 9 years ago today. And
Wow. Well, happy Life-versary day. It's your Life-versary day.
Thank you. 9 years on. Even I am very grateful. So yes, I'm in Guy's Hospital, funnily enough. I think that's the first. No, I hadn't walked into Guy's yet. I hadn't walked in. I was still on my journey. I was just starting my journey. But yes, and that was very interesting, because the first thing you're told is, I'm sorry you have cancer. No, don't tell me that. Don't tell me that. But it's a reality. So in that journey, I'm going to go in the order in which
Denise, were you de novo? Were you metastatic from the beginning?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was originally in Nigeria. I was first told that I may have that in Nigeria. I was on holiday. And because I only had a headache, we got to get things right. I had a headache. I wasn't sick. I didn't have anything. I didn't have a breast lump. I didn't have anything wrong with me. I just had a headache. And that's the thing that has always fascinated me about this particular journey, because there was nothing wrong with me. And I recall very carefully when I walked in with the same headache, I came home and I had the same headache, and I walked again into Lewisham Hospital, because I had it very bad. No, I didn't walk in there. I walked to my GP and said, look, this headache is not going. And he said, I'm not doing anything with you now. Since you can't walk straight anymore, you're going straight to the hospital. And that's how I ended up getting into the hospital. And then, but I couldn't, I've got a headache. You don't go to the hospital and say, I've got a headache, I've got cancer. Those two words, those two relationships don't work. 1 + 1 don't make 2 in my view. So yeah, that's how it started. But no, I didn't. I started off my journey with so many confusing variables, because too many things didn't add up, from having a headache. And that's how I started. And I've done a lot of work after it, because I've had to now learn to navigate, first to understand I have cancer, understand it's a metastatic disease, understand that I may not have lived 3 months, understand how faith has helped me, and how I've got to explain to people why my faith is the rock on which I stand.
Thank you, God, for that, right?
And work out why God has allowed me to live. And I had a discussion at the time if I was to live through this, because my mom died less than a year before that, then what was I to do with it? Because I wasn't ready to watch. I didn't want my youngest child at the time was in year 7, 11-year-old. No, she's graduated now, so let's keep going. So that's it. And then from there, it was Thanu I first met. Thanu says, today, we want to have bloods. And I was like, what are you doing? What are you doing with it? I want to do research. Am I going to know about the research? See, she's very right. Those are the questions we do ask. Am I going to know about the research? What's the benefit for me? How is it going to impact? Those are the questions that I really did. I kept probing Thanu on it, and we did get past that. And I did it. Then one day she says to me, oh, we're having so and so. Would you like to come? That's where I met you, Ricky. And funnily enough, I had
Awesome. Those are going to move into the house because it's kind of loud where we are. So give us a minute. A lot of activity around us.
It started to have fun now.
It's starting to have fun now.
Is it breakfast time?
It is breakfast time. It's actually, people are still sleeping in our house, you know. But we're going to wake them up as opposed to people disturbing us in the streets. It's okay.
No, we're not going to make too much noise.
Yeah, no, we're not. We're not. No, but I think that you are one of the most fierce warriors I've ever met. So grateful to know you now.
Absolutely.
Yeah, well, that's how I started it's that day I saw you. But I just started. I was ill, wasn't I? For some strange reason. I knew I wasn't well, but I needed to be at that.
Yeah, you did say you would try to be there.
Because I was not in a good place. I had just started my restart, my something. And then she said, we're having this, will you come? And I thought, yeah, I'm going there. No,
you didn't
no
just
one.
turn up. You were a keynote speaker.
You were
No, but I didn't know that when I came. Remember that I came in there
I
just
think, yeah.
and then I looked at Ricky and I was like, we're gonna in my mind I said, we're gonna have to drag this together.
Yeah.
We are.
And that's what I said to Thanu that time. I said, I'm going after her. This global drive, nah.
But with the event, we had this great
for me.
community event in London.
For me, I was looking for people that understand. That's why I always say, if you've got the disease, you find people that get what you are trying to say.
Yeah.
And then it's a lot easier to connect.
It is. No,
so that was how we entered Sambai, and now Sambai and I are on weekly meetings again. All right.
Yeah, but you know what? I can't describe Blessed Love, but you know, there's a thing called Blessed Love. It's a club that we didn't choose to be in, but now we're in this club, and it's unconditional love. I can't.
Yes, it is.
And we don't have to talk because we get it. So we're so grateful that
when you are some of the most powerful women. Honestly.
Yeah, we're all badasses, you know.
Yes, we are. And we've got to make them understand.
We do. We have to.
We are in control.
We are in control. But what?
Sorry, Thanu. This is our.
I just love listening to you. So you keep going.
But what we're grateful for with Sambai is that we're changing the science.
Yeah.
We're embracing the science because we know that, you know, we can give all the hugs we want, give all the blessed love we want, but until we change the science,
tackle it from the root
and make, you know, keep women alive. And that's what you're doing. And so one of the most profound things that happened to me that day, other than meeting you guys, but you guys showed me under a microscope what the differences in our cancers look like. And it's funny, when I started Touch 5 years ago, I started with the premise that Black breast cancer is different. And people told me I was crazy, even the Black people. And I had met Melissa, you know, a few years before that, and I could see the work that she was doing in Ghana, in Nigeria, and with African women, and the Duffy-Knoll gene and all the things. And but I've now, like, what you guys are validating it, you're showing it, you're doing that work, and it's so cool. So can I show these pictures that I took in your lab that day?
Yeah, of course, go for it.
Because I think it'll help, who's I need your help with it. How do we find this? So here we go. You did it for me. Thank God it was here. If I were home, we'd be in trouble. So these are cancer cells, white versus black. Like, can you explain the pictures?
Definitely, I'll explain a little bit. I'll give it a try. It's so what we were looking at lymph nodes. So when we say breast cancer, the cancer from the obviously we're looking at the primary in the breast. Some people don't have a breast primary; they have it elsewhere. Denise knows all about this, but comes back breast cancer, but they never found it in the breast. But for majority of people, large population breast cancer patients, we have breast primary. We find that for some of these patients, the tumor actually travels. We call it migration into the lymph nodes. We call it sentinel lymph nodes, which is like the closest into the lymph nodes, and this can act as the starting bit for the cancer to then travel to different parts of the body. So we want to see the lymph node biology in patients who have tumor within these lymph nodes versus patients who don't have tumor in there. So we were looking at breast primary, but we were also looking at in the same patients, do they have a lymph node which has metastatic disease? So do they have tumor in these lymph nodes or not? So we have a project that's going on for some time now, looking at the responders versus non-responders and how these lymph nodes look like. But we found strikingly, because interesting, is that there was a difference in these lymph node structure in Black versus white women. When we say difference, it's just by eye levels. These are H&E images where we take a lymph node, we cut a piece of section onto a glass slide, and we just stain them with different dyes, which will put certain features in these lymph nodes, will help us identify tumor within the lymph node. What is it sitting next to? What does the lymph node structure look like? And referring that or comparing that to a normal lymph node and seeing if it has a tumor or not, or how much has it changed. So what we saw in a white patient was that lymph node structure was intact, so it was maintained. Whereas in a Black patient, in this example, it was a little bit all over the place. So the structure was dissociated, if that's the word to use here. So we were seeing that the presence of tumor was disturbing the actual structure of the lymph node, which means that the immune biology, the way the tumor and the immune cells are talking to each other will be a lot different in a Black patient versus a white patient, and that is really, really important to understand. And for
Say that again. That the lymph node structure in a Black patient is different from a white patient.
And that it was really important for us to understand that, because then the way the tumor and the immune cells were talking to each other in a Black patient might be completely different to what we're seeing in a white patient. So we can't treat these two patients the same.
These are like words of gold to our patient audience, because it's helping me understand why we're dying, because the drugs that we have were made on different cells.
Yeah.
And all the therapies, the drugs, surgery, all the therapies that we're getting as Black people were based on white bodies and white cells.
Yeah. The data does not represent
the
people who are receiving the results of that data. So it's really important for ethnic minority Black patients to be there and at the beginning of the research and have your say. Not your voice, your experiences, but also your tissues, your samples need to be in there, to be part of that data. So when the results come out, when we are going into clinical trials, when we're going to early phase trials, when we're producing these drugs, they actually are combinations of your data. So that's really important. And this is not a complicated assay. This is just a basic H&E. And for us to see that already just on a first layer of first experimental layer, that's quite striking because now technology has developed. We're working with Akoya for Sambai, and we are able to kind of go deep in and understand on a cellular level, like the different immune cells that are present in a tumor microenvironment very close to the tumor. So if we're seeing this already on H&E images, I'll be really fascinated to see what we're actually finding from this complicated analysis that's ongoing.
Wow, 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 wow. This is like, to me, a profound story, and helps us explain to patients why they have to participate in clinical trials. Well, we have to. So great, great, great. So gosh, so this always blows me away when I hear the science, but Denise,
Yeah.
talk to me about how this makes you feel and how it impacts your work.
In a way, I'm very happy about it. And I'll tell you why. Because I feel that there's an adage that I grew up with, is a quote. My people perish due to lack of knowledge. And
Yeah.
ethnic minorities are not prepared to get the knowledge.
Yeah.
We keep running after what this person said, that person said. No. We need to address what the issues are. And I'm going to go from how I started, because when I started this journey, I recall very clearly, either I survive, and if I was surviving, what was I to do with it? And for some strange reason, God allowed me to walk in the path. Sorry, I'm going to have to use a lot of God in my conversation,
God
because
is here. He's right here with us. So,
because
we're cool with that.
I'm only alive because God has allowed me to.
I'm only alive because I'm a
voice
miracle from God. This is my God job. So
yeah, this is my God job too. And unfortunately for me, I want to use it properly. Now, when you look at it very carefully, once I sat in that chemo chair, because up for 4 months, I didn't have a treatment plan. From August to December, I didn't have a treatment plan.
why?
I was under my consultant, who is the best thing since, oh my gosh, if they change her today, wherever she goes, I'm going. I keep telling her that she better make sure she don't leave Guy's Hospital, because it's not going to work for me and her. If she goes to Timbuktu, we go to Timbuktu together. I'm not doing that. But I had tumors in my brain. Not one, tumors. So I already knew that there wasn't a knowledge of would she get through it. What the question was, what is going on in her brain? I'm an educated person, for goodness sake. You can tell when you're going around and you're listening to what the conversations, and you're baffled with what's going on. And I was having brain surgeries. First I had the first one I had a craniectomy. That's what it's called, right? The first one, they cut it. They did this, the what do you call this, the sample biopsy. They say, oh, she's definitely got HER2 breast cancer. Okay, we start doing all these checks for the breast too. And I keep saying, but I don't have any lump in my breast. They keep telling me, yeah, but we've got to find it. I say, no, I don't have any lump in my breast. Excuse me, are you telling me I don't know how to touch my breast and find a lump? And it helped me to realize now, my work, that please don't get bogged down with what you can or cannot feel, but rather, if you don't feel well, deal with it. Don't bury your head in the sand, which is the saddest part about us. And that is what has caused, and in my view, is the reason why we have the highest death rates in cancer treatment, the reason why
mortality, yeah.
We're
catching it later.
Yeah, because by the time we're coming out to say, okay, you know what, things have really gone very bad.
Yeah.
It's too bad.
Yeah.
And it didn't have to have gotten there if we're just done what it is. So, for instance, we're talking about clinical trials. Why are we not in clinical trials? And Thanu knows. All you need to do is ask me to talk to somebody in the clinic there. I will convince them why they need to do it, because I start to tell them the story about why I'm here. So please don't go down. Don't allow yourself to go down when you have the ability to fight.
Right. Well, to me, that picture that we just showed is evidence enough to do a clinical trial.
Yeah, but
Right.
people have to listen.
They have to listen because, and that's what, actually we're talking about today and our talk later today, but we don't have the science for Black people that we need. We don't,
And we have to be there.
and we
There's a
have to be,
statement.
we are the science we're waiting for.
Yes.
We are
We
the
need to be sitting on the table. Stop
we are the
allowing other
science we're
people
waiting for.
to
Right.
sit on the table for your illness. Stop.
Yeah.
And if we don't get it right now, how do we get the younger generation to get involved in this? Because they need to be creating the drugs. They are the scientists of tomorrow who
Yeah.
will understand the better
Right.
ways of doing things. Well, unfortunately, we're not connecting what we need to be connecting. For goodness sake, we're all Black ethnic minorities. Our bloods are different. I'm still on my campaign. What of mixed race people? Because the mixed race in the world now is in the next 20 years
Well,
is going to be
everybody
higher than
says-
either Black or white.
Right.
Then what's happening? We're still trying to address just ethnic minorities as a one race. In 20, 30 years time, there won't be one race. The majority will be mixed. Then what would have happened? We're now going to be starting what we should have addressed.
Right.
At this point, because we can address it now. You've got a Denise, you've got a this, you've got an African, you've got a Ghanaian.
We're already seeing that in our database when we were looking at patients that we captured through various different projects. Is we have a clear Black and white cohort, but we also have a huge number of patients who are mixed race. And these immune profile results that are coming through, and as part of Sambai, the work that we are going to be doing, it will clearly show you, I think, there's a difference in these mixed race patients. They haven't been looked at before, we haven't been looking at ethnicity at all, but just having that database and having these samples mean we will be able to answer those questions.
Wow.
That would be our pilot results, but then using that to go out and speaking to more people and seeing why they should take part, because there is a clear difference in Black and white, but these mixed race patients are also going to give us a new insight into what's going on. It's not just when we say mixed race as part of Sambai, one of the biggest topic is changing from self-reported ancestry to genetic ancestry. So someone might come in and say, I'm Black or I'm white, but what is your actual divisions in that? That's what your genetic ancestry is going to show. And having that information to match with the immunological profile, the exposomics work that's happening in Colombia and everything that Dr. Yates is doing, that's going to be really powerful when it comes out. So,
but you see, that will help to get the right drugs, because currently we're using one size fits all. One size doesn't fit all.
Right.
What I'm using is very different from what Ricky would have used. Is very different from somebody else. And we don't fit all. And the impact on your body will be very different. And I recall when I first started chemo, my very first one, I was very sick with the very common one for breast HER2 cancer, but you take it every 3 years.
Adriamycin, Adriamycin, the Red Devil, maybe.
No, but no, I don't know. It's very common for HER2.
Oh, Herceptin.
No, I take Herceptin. I've been taking Herceptin for the last 9 years. This one is it's a drug. It's a cancer drug. I can't remember the name, but if once somebody does Google, you'll find it.
Okay.
And I couldn't take it after the first dose. I was very, very, very ill. As in, I didn't get the second dose. I was in hospital, in neutropenic. And the thing I learned immediately was I was changed to a weekly drug, which was not in line with the standard that everybody else would use. But it worked well for me. And that must show that there must be something about my own genes or my own whatever that couldn't accept that drug. That drug and we didn't cooperate. Which then shows that the drugs, if the drugs are given to meet our different genes and all the variables that we need to be done in science. I'm not a science person. Then most probably will have more drugs available. They will not be as expensive as they are. It will open more doors across the world. And
Right.
cancer will no longer be this
Dark
money-making
place.
venture for
Yeah.
some people at the expense of others.
This dark place.
Yeah.
When you think about it,
It's
we approach so many things. Like when Calvin Klein made jeans, right? They made all sizes. When like you think about when other products where they make a variation for
And they
drugs,
make treats.
basically make one drug for everything. Now, I guess it's still different dosing, but they haven't even dosed it right for people who are
for
different,
everybody.
for
Yeah.
everybody. So we just need more science, and that's what we're doing here. So, hey, Denise, can you talk a little bit about your tentacles in Nigeria, like who you work with there?
Oh, Nigeria. I love working in Nigeria. I work in Nigeria as a cancer patient advocate. I serve on the national national task force for the elimination of cervical cancer, which is head by the First Lady of Nigeria, Senator Remi Tinubu. I have fortunately attended their inauguration in June 2025, and I serve on that as a member of the task force. I have a foundation that works out of Nigeria, and we work predominantly with children and singularly for cancer awareness and advocacy, nothing else. And the idea is, I've come to realize in the African continent, knowledge is power. But the amount of knowledge that is outside about cancer is negative knowledge.
Yeah.
Negative
Sentence.
information. It's all the things that are not correct, i.e., if you have cancer, you don't eat and you'll be all right. And you know, how did we get there? These are educated people making or accepting such. It's not normal. And that's because the narratives are wrong. So I have a television. I have two now. I'm about to get the third one. I do a program called Kakaki Cancer Awareness with Dr. Denise Ejoh. I have
Say
another
that again.
Kakaki Cancer Awareness with Dr. Denise Ejoh. I started that in 2021, and that's powered by the African Independent Television. I have another one which is on Plus Television Africa, and that one is Cancer Watch with Dr. Denise Ejoh. And that I partner with the Association for Radiation and Clinical Oncology of Nigeria. I choose to partner. I'm sorting out another one where I will be working in partnership with the Nigerian Institute for Cancer Research and Treatment intentionally, because I know that I have a disease I live with. And I don't want the television programs to die because I am not there. So I try to make sure that I have a partner, and anytime I am not on air, the program must still run, knowing fully well that I live with the metastatic disease, and one day the light will go down. But as the light goes down, for me, I would want the light to be brighter for the world. I work with a lot of cancer patients across Nigeria, as in different. I'm not very interested in owning my cancer patient hub for one reason, because I work with so many. And I work in geopolitical, I don't work in a state or a region. I work across the country, working with different cancer patients, organizations. And it has been very nice because I've now learned that what the issues are, it's very interesting we're talking about this, what the issues are in Lagos, which is Southwest Nigeria, are totally different from the issues that are going on in Northern Nigeria, are totally different what's happening in Southeast Nigeria. And we're now talking about just ordinary disease, cancer as an illness. Can you imagine now when you're talking about a country whose issues are different? Meanwhile, it's one country, is issues. And it's just interesting because what they want and what this needs. So my work in Nigeria, and then I work with the internally displaced children. teaching them. I have what you call the Cormode Cancer Champions Club. And it's for children who don't have cancer, who are learning about cancer, because I believe if children are taught about cancer, and if you work out the math, if 30 children in each school are taught about cancer in any given year, and then the following year they continue, do you realize the number of children that would know about cancer by the time they finish secondary school and will be able to educate their local communities
And their
about
parents and their
cancer?
grandmoms.
Exactly, which is the initiative that I'm really trying to work on.
Yeah, the
And we're
children
getting
are
to
the
what are we
ones
doing now?
that
And I've
show
written my books. I've got six. Five of them will be out totally in September. All are all child 11 to 18-year-old friendly. But
Right.
the work we do in there is about all cancers, but I promote and I protect metastatic cancer patients as a personal, that's personal because that's what I have.
Yeah.
So that is very important to me. So patients that have it, I give extra care. I won't put them on television. I don't, unless they feel comfortable, because I know how difficult it is for them.
You
Yeah.
live it.
You live in it. You live
Yeah,
in
I
it.
live it.
Thank you so much for
Wow.
sharing that.
Yeah.
Thanu, I'm curious about what your why is. What brought you into this work? Because I don't know.
What did you say? Me?
Yes.
Yeah.
What is your why?
What's your why? What
What-
brought you to be a cancer researcher?
Oh, you're back. Sorry, I just lost connection for a bit, but you're back.
Okay. Yeah.
What's my why? I have no personal experience, but I remember this one patient very clearly when I started as a junior. When you work in clinical trials, you're often having these time interactions with our patients, and you're seeing them for a long period of time every time they come into the hospital. When you're collecting samples, the way I approached, or the way naturally just collecting samples, we were having these conversations, and you're spending a lot of time with these amazing women, and you get to learn about them and their lives a lot. So there was this one patient who had a 6-year-old son. She was diagnosed with metastatic disease. Metastatic disease in brain, lungs, it went everywhere, and she wasn't responding to anything. And she knew she was going to go, but she just had this one wish that she would stay until December because she just wanted to see her son's Christmas act. He was so proud of it. He was practicing at home every day, and all she wanted to see is him being on that stage, and that's all she wanted to see. And she made it, and she was just so happy. She was so happy that she got to see her son. And it touched me so much that you at that point you wish you can do something more, but you've done everything that you can do in the clinic, in that clinic setting. You just couldn't do more, and that helplessness, it's not a good feeling. Like being on the other side, having formed that connection and losing that one person that it's devastating. And for me, I always think when I have a patient who unfortunately passes away, I always think about the people they leave behind. It's just so hard for them to accept that, come to that acceptance. So we have to do what we do. We have to keep doing it. We have to get to that point where we have a stage 4 patient coming in, and we want to change that narrative and say, yes, I have something for you. And yes, it's targeted therapy. Yes, we can get you to where we want to get you to. And we don't want to say, sorry, we've tried everything and there's nothing more. We want to change that narrative. So I have few patients, and every year there's one of these stories, and it's sad, but they become our motivation factor. We unfortunately we've lost them, but they're here with us in spirit, and we are carrying on the work that we're doing because of them. And they donated bloods, they donated tissue samples in the hopes that someone down the line can benefit and not go through what they went through. Someone down the line can have a different story, a happy ending. And getting to the happy ending that will always be my why. My patients will always be my reason for doing this.
Wow.
Oh,
Thank you, Thanu. Sorry. Thank you. Actually, it does. You may not see it, but it does mean a lot to us because we do know that you carry us home. Irrespective, we do know the medical practitioners that work with us in the background take us home with them. You know, I'm a teacher, I know. So it's very interesting when I make a point of, even on all my television programs, saying thank you to the carers, because you do not know how much impact you have on helping us to manage our families,
Yeah.
especially when we know it's time to go home, because it's very difficult, and you take us home, but we're not related to you. So thank you to all. Please let your teams know. We need them more people to do clinical trials and be part of this team, so they can help us to get more people on the trials and more people survive long term. Sorry, I had to say that.
Oh, no.
Wow, this is beautiful. I have
so beautiful.
chills. I'm sure
I know,
our
it's a-
audience is going to be crying.
I know.
I know, I did get a little bit emotional. This was my very first patient who I lost, so that was a bit
That
hard.
was your why. That was your why. But that's what our happy ending is. I mean, that's what we want to create.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We want to create happiness, not even endings. You know what I mean? We want people to have more birthdays.
Yes.
And
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
talk to a lot of patients about research, and they're not doing research because they want to be in a petri dish and be a screen on those pictures. They're doing it for another birthday, for another trip to Nigeria, for another party, another grandbaby. You know, I did it to watch my kid walk across the stage and get her diploma at Dartmouth. So, you know, that's what we do. But thank you so much. This is going to be such a great story to share. We are so grateful to work with both of you and to know you. And we're going to do such great stuff with Sambai. It's only the beginning. We're at the tip of the iceberg, and everything that we're doing is going to be a learning opportunity for the cancer world. So we thank Cancer Grand Challenge for this opportunity. And you know, we love our Melissa so much. She's a brainiac, and she's put together all these brainiacs in this room, and we're like so happy.
Such a force.
It's a force.
Such a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah. So
one day we'll all come together we'll all come together and sit down and say, oh, this is all of us. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I know.
It definitely is a great teamwork, and like you said earlier, it's a blessed community to come together. And we couldn't have chosen better. We just got put together. So, you know,
that's the point. You know, that's the point. We all got thrown in at different points.
I know, you know, but that was God.
That's God. You see what I say?
See how God works? Let's make a big stew, put everybody in the pot.
And he's saying, I want the people that I know will make the noise.
Because
I always say to people, God didn't create us to wipe out half the world. And if 1 in 2 people will get cancer, God didn't decide that half the people will die. So forget it. What exactly did God do? He wants us to learn about what he has given us, to use it to help to serve humanity. It's a gift. It's a gift.
It's a precious gift.
Yes. And we're privileged to be part of it.
Absolutely.
No more words necessary. Sambai Speaks.
I mean, Sambai Speaks. This was
Sambai Speaks.
Thank you guys so
Thank you so much. You guys have a blessed day, and we'll see you soon. Bless you, love. Bless you, love.
I don't know how to do that. Have I got it yet?
You got it.
You did it. You've done it.
Bless you, love.
Thank you so much again for having us. As always, it's so lovely connecting with all of you.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Are we staying on? Ricky, are we staying on?